Now, calculation, maybe Magana for to be election 2024. There are some politicians who are bad, who are liars, and they are very sneaky. When they are lying, they can lie in a way you might think, say, they are telling you the truth. They are even condemning themselves. There are two types of politicians. There's a politician who will condemn himself. And after he condemns himself, he will make you think, say, onuni group, he's the smartest. Ain't it technically, ultimately picking out. Like I said, munyina we are conference way dear. And the old politician or the catcher said, my GBBR to blame all of us. And yeko 2023 elections, we will see these kinds of politicians cropping up. And a typical example of a dangerous politician, he cannot be trusted. Kwabena Agyapong of the NPP. Kwabena Agyapong de Asante Kasa ditro. Onye nipa bia sebio Ghana ni audi mokodi nchine you need to listen to. And me pese Ghana fo nyina tia say such people are dangerous and they are greedy. They only follow their stomach. So when they go to a point, na one obi eko eye agreement. So obi di bonia. So agreement na ended the way or pay fully 100%. He will turn around and make it look like say he is what destroying himself and destroying the person on the core. Eko na evi also medi boneno. So you technically as a human being will have sympathy on him. Remember, Kwabena Agyapong ena one Ekufuadomo eseti an agenda because idea ni national person yi Paul Afoko. Now you cannot get rid of Paul Afoko without getting rid of Kwabena Agyapong. It will be too clear. So Kwabena Agyapong told Ekufuadomo say, add me to this and I can go away for 2 years, 3 years, your first term, when I come, give me what I want. I am sacrificing this because I want Afoko out. MPP nya party attending also dealing when it comes to party itself. Into that trap, that DNAC, it was orchestrated by Kwabena Agyapong MPP Ekufuadomo. He took the bullet to make sure say enya teni in the MPP. Now this same Kwabena Agyapong went into hiding after he destroyed on one colleagues who did everything possible to make sure that NPP gained that credibility and respect. Before election 2020, Kwabena Agyapong reappeared and he resurfaced. Adentra, he's a Kwabena Agyapong, we don't know where he's coming from. You need to be a free bar or the Asante Kasa ne buy and auto radios. Adentra, a dear Kwabena Agyapong kaye on platforms following Ekufuado. Kwabena Agyapong, remember, ya pamo on Afoko mune same crab munya at the same time. But for some reason, Kwabena Agyapong erupted, he resurfaced, and he was part of the 2020 MPP campaign. Now, the idea was what? What will make you join Ekufuado's campaign in 2020? It's simple. To make Ekufuado president again. To make Ken Oforiatta finance minister again. To make sure, say, all the things Gabi is doing, he gets to do it again. To reaffirm PDS. To make sure, say, Chrono has been what? Has been sanctioned. And some people were shocked. Kwabena Agyapong appeared from nowhere. These are the things Kwabena Agyapong said in run up to 2020 elections.
Asampa FM 94.7. All talk, all day.
Who say what the leave of absence?
Yeah.
Efi Ejumem, in this case, the Ghana Institution of Engineers, right?
Engineering.
Ghana Institution of Engineering, to come and support your party in this campaign. Yeah. My question would be, say, why the president's campaign team? Because yes, what the leave of absence? What say? Who support your campaign? ABL bit my adopted constituency be not wako. President the tone suffer and I want our corner workers open because the support your campaign. How did it happen?
That's a media for Mukana Muhayemeni. I'm a press secretary to president.
Yes,
the conversations that you have between the president, you live with it till you die. And you be behind a cannabon. But suffice it to say, oh, I would tell you, stages. That's right. I think that should be enough for you. It's not for me to come and say, no. That is why you are a responsible leader who the position be. There are certain things you keep it to yourself. The fact of the matter is, won't mean sorry, President Kobepi into Wooden. In any case, I'm a former general secretary of the party. And I have a contribution to make. This is a party that we built with our own hands. It's just and I'm a catcher from 1989, 1990, the struggles of this party and what we've been through the IPAC Inter-Party Advisory Committee at the Electoral Commission and representing President Kufuor in 1996. First time a strong room was in 1996. Yeah. So
DC strong room.
That's right. And those days, your friend is a NDC4 press secretary. I mean, your friend Vincent Assis. The election results a delay what country have been seen that. Bare 5 days near that time. Yeah, trying voter results. Those days won't even go voter original.
So he made you understand the say there was a communication between himself and the Kufuor. There was an agreement for him to leave his job, ask for leave, and come join the MPP campaign 2020. So you need to understand that this guy had behind the scenes negotiations with the NPP, with the Kufuor, to come and use his face because he's a greedy guy, no? Often a nim and making sure say what the people were going after, no? He will bring something different. Ombecha and Trophy Frobi. Making and look, he say somebody we thought say he was peeved with the Kufuor, no? He isn't peeved, and that the Kufuor is the unique person. Bawumia is the unique person. Oforiata should continue. So he actually accepted on TV, say he had his own negotiations with the Kufuor to join the campaign. So it was a personal decision, and it was a decision to do what? Reinstall a Kufuor on Ghanaians again. A dangerous man, very, very dangerous, a liar. He's one of those cunning politicians we have to get rid of in the country. Or a dangerous because he plays with the mind of Ghana for. He sits back or looking for opportunities. He makes millions dollars. Then he will turn around and make it look like say the problem no Enye Kufuor and the MPP are buying. So you saw him, and this was before election 2020. Remember, this guy was in this country before 2020. He saw the abysmal performance of a Kufuor. Oh, how deteriorating the economy was going. Oh, the corruption. But what he did was he stepped out to come and lie to the people that what a Kufuor, Bawumia, MPP deserves to lead. He knew the problem, but Okataso or Jiska or not, I can say he had a conversation he cannot disclose. So it was an agreement to come and mislead the people. This is still before election 2020.
Asampa FM 94.7. All talk, all day.
Any party who boa for him, ne chese bi dwane firi kroma ebinum adwuma sei ebinum fa ho wuye enti bi kase bia ya de but people have really suffered, and sacrificing is a key part of even our religion. So enti message me de hear me say any ye cool for minim say dosun say ndc for. I want the base to be energized. Me say obabia obia sorry Kenya nipa kansem de pichre no to say nsem kakra niem agumanim sem kasa me kan me kan wi now we can be about say compare president you know mama a few examples of some projects I think say can running our treasury and value for money they are almost macra and say me certain examples. That aside, let's go even policy drive. You say from 2008, Mampeni Kase on the Oba, Yankopoyan at Mobile Free Senior High School. At that time, Mahama say, any possible. Siken who are beating the eye, it will be a cry 20 years nearly. Is that not the position? In politics, leadership is about being decisive and being clear on what you can't be wavering. National health insurance. In fact, one free parliament, no can. So them children. Yaba, Yashi the Yenti, and then who say, what can be? No more advert be made TBB about national or say be free health, your insurance on
the primary health care.
But say casombe
one time payment
health
insurance.
So you see, this one is a very special election. It's an election between two people who have had record. Enti mama onye nipa foforo na obaka se me ba me yesi na se wonya 8 years dey na we ada na wanye because we enim say for the first 3 years Professor Mills nyame enim na no cry he wasn't very well. So you were virtually in control of the country. Now was a full time. You've had 8 years already at the helm. Enti and now me say o ka say the basis for free and ukra National Identification Authority.
Yes.
Okay, na must say that the software would migrate you onto the electoral register once you touch 18. So, it is so that electoral commission, database, or do I left it near the near a letter, or so where the 18.
So, the Obabe in 2020 before election 2020. Did you ever hear Kwabena Agyapong speak about the corruption in the Kufuor's government? Never. Obaye no. Ekufuor krono boy any ade nyina no oba no say ye dose chain Ghana for nyanim say MPP for ye dose e ya santikasa na wo ka kire mo no we 10 na wa santimema ma menka santikasa nkire wo na sebio mo so ebi mo agimi we ya hunani na oti santimema ma menka santikasa nkire wo se asantini be ma gina radio so ka say ye ne MPP for ye onipa e chain NDC a ye dose chain o ma kasa na wo kana e ya santikasa e word with quotes or catch us anti-force say yen ye to abakese ma MPP so yen no yen tia say ye party no power in Ghana. NDC winning out of the 16 regions, NDC to me winning about 14 or 12, and so at the end of the day no Ashanti region and the MPP carry election and my menti be manka be nchiramo montafo ne awonafo na motia Asante mo dwense mo ye asantefo no mameka be nchiramo se ende entafo mo asantimemu awonafo mo asantimemu omo maka mo asantimemu yen from mo mesefo a sebio omo nye kromafo a omo betena ho no se munyina mo decide say from the tribal lines the is no mo pese mo be intelligent mo pese mo so mo ye very tribal number 2 tier MPP a they cannot cross 500,000 votes in Ashanti region. Mark it anywhere in the world. Me say and amanfrafo amotia santimemu Ashanti region intafo eye awonafo eye nkran mo amotia Ashanti region munya asantefo at the end of the day moyi makoma mu moda ho tia asante se munyina mu nuanom ne omo no se munyina mu decide se sa kasakoa ne enkwasiasam atemnide behind the scenes no se munyina mo yamaje se 2024 meto etia eye MPP because sebio MPP baso no ye ntafo bubu ye se ye moa ye nya wonafo obubu ye se moa election day ye the soldiers kogu awona memu ya amfa bia mba santimemu me hwede Kufuor ne busuafo ye the tribal lines they are drawing metoma NDC because me pesa me kire say Ghana na yet no ye wo another tribe any other tribes amuso hu hia NPP in the Ashanti region will not get 700,000 votes never. And that's how the dynamics work. So they always use the language to confuse everybody. Even though dudone yoma kume musa metia santime mu de minuane asantini hu tani se oye jimifuo asantini hu eye ahunani se oye dian ontumi nka me say. But I am not trying to make people think say the language these people speak and no dey betena dey decode ya kiramo into aka say yen people we dose chai end this for boa one asanteman na ekasa one asantefo na ekasa yen na yetoma MPP inti monka muhumbom. So it's a tribal language. Now obetena TV so before 2020 or year campaign me Kufuor. Did you ever hear him speak about PDS? No, because he wanted to bring back the hardship. And fun who he has cut a deal. Your money scar. Suddenly, Kwabena Agyapong about Bonten, Mesome person be the president. Busa who say adentra because the negotiations they had, they did not fulfill it. Into our idea be say ebeko gold ye nkonko kona obesai ni nyina. Chalanchremantie winia na asantini antuma me flag bearer ye nyina ebeko makosai no. So the agenda is to destroy the party. Destroy Ekufuadomo. Into made the president no. At the end of the day, what they promised him no, they didn't give him. Now, and let's fast forward to 2022. The same Kwabena Agyapong or your campaign serious Ekufuado. Or check Ghana for say Ekufuado nyan sacha mahama bia policies or they been sida or the best president suddenly in less than 2 years. And this is what Kwabena Agyapong is saying on radio. Me say politicians no, or me dangerous. Well, no, they don't deserve to live amongst us. Or me a poison. They deliberately destroy your lives because or you're envious of everything, or low self-esteem. So you could see that Debiano, he's trying to be noticed, and the criminality and the greed and the bedruha. Listen to the same person who was campaigning for Ekufuado before 2020, and listen to him now. He wants to be president. Muntie sits back and analyze his language.
I want to ask a few questions. I've gone through quite a lot of research in the banking, this cleanup. As at the end of 2016, now the things were very bad, and we have to admit that things were very bad in the banking sector.
Okay.
Of course, if you blame the NDC government for that, fine. But they've been out of office for what, 6 years now, and we should take action. Now, the amount of money that the finance ministry is claiming that was used for the banking cleanup. Let's do some mathematics here. The 8 banks that went down, I think the composition of their deposits is near 12% of the overall deposit in the country. And to engineers away calculations that sometimes it will be a friendly safety factor.
Okay.
Assuming that these banks were not reporting correctly, because it's bad reporting and a cost of collapse of the banks, or they were not being honest. Now, man, factor of safety cry 2 multiplied by 2, so okay. 24%. Some of them, they didn't report one to be a Sikano. Young fans 24% cry. How come that we can use 25 billion, which is about 55% of that deposit? Because as at the end of, according to Pricewaterhouse and KPMG report, it was 45 billion, the total money interest holdings.
Yes. Okay.
Not the total assets, 65 or something, but the interest, the holdings, deposits, was 45 billion. So even if a lot of it is impaired, it could not have been more than 10 billion. And if you talk to some of the experts in the banking industry, in the economy, they think that we shouldn't have spent more than 10 billion
in cleaning up.
Because the banks were saying that if you gave them liquidity support of maybe 8-9 billion, they could have stayed on their feet, they have kept their jobs, then depositors would not be under threat. And say, Oka say, Kanoa Areno, Sikanoa Ode, Eco CSA Kano, as soon as Obetok Namunokra. That there has to, questions have to be asked. And I'm beginning to hear, especially some of the auditors, they were compensated far in excess of what they were supposed to be compensated. And it has caused a lot of problems in there's something wrong going on in this economy. Look, I've had reason to say this in many other places, and I want to state this again. We have a country where even the extractive industry, just a gold idea, we are unable to monitor the actual amount of production. Because there was an audit, international audit, and I believe the government is aware of that audit. If you go to the destinations, the key destinations of our gold export, so refining, so you have to quote the correct figures. There's a big disparity, just a disconnect between gold now receiving the gold in free.
I see.
So what is happening
in terms of quantum?
So it means that the taxes, they are under declaring leaving the shores. So it means that there's a shortfall for the Ghanaian people and the Ghanaian government, revenue shortfall. So and these are things that you have to make such structures. You are in government as a leader. The tone that you set, and the values that you espouse, and no, it rubs off on your cabinet. It wraps up on your party and eventually the country that we live in.
And I think I wasn't too happy with some of the remarks.
Okay.
Some of them, because you have to set a very high bar. And you have to demand results from your team. You should never be satisfied and say no, you think they are. No, especially when the results do not suggest that Sana happen.
And the people are calling. Say,
you don't even have to wait for the people. I know I'm not populist. Into me, those things. You're a political leader. You look at the data, as they say, the data and the science. So of them show, and it's clear evidence. So right now, treasury bill rates are back up 27-29%. Interest rates are over. Inflation is over 32%. So we are in dangerous territory. And so therefore, the only major thing that the president can do to arrest the situation is to clear out the managers of the economy. And it's a fact. That is what is left for him to do, because you can't let the same people who have driven us to this stage remain in office.
The president,
nobody is looking for Kenneth Ratter's job, but we are looking for the economic health of this country. And some of us have to stand up and be counted. I would rather die speaking the truth than be populist because me MPP.
See? So who do you? Aha. So he comes in there. Wait, or a dangerous cheku fuado. So we tell you couple for a day. For now, no. They be an language in here. They, 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 meaning on count. Osaka omwa. Before election 2020, courtesy Dr. Solomon Owusu. Recently, I may show me documents a tray gold your export free Ghana na entirely. Akwa we not in Ghana. He knew it. He was on campaign trail doing what? Campaigning for Ekufuado and these same people. This guy Kwabena Agyapong also now feel over banking sector. You know what he wants to do? And then the MPP for Wemo and the banking sector, no, it was a wrong decision. Way oya santini bema onim sibi twatro say ne kasa. And we question see to the hanky ashane ha. We oya bonsam che Ekufuado. And when you analyze his speeches, okotwe bibi by our friend say extraction industry. Na okekako ejapa. Also, you good, you good dear. Sikane kwe and tally the chamber of mines for no. He wants to hit on the crimes he knew about, but he still campaigned for them. He knew about all these things. This guy is more learned. Onim politics channel, onim krono ankofo yabo, but he still took up the mantle to make sure say these people stayed in power. Oh, you said no nimana. Oh, you said Kwabena Agyapong way na onim de Ekufuado maye. He knew. He struck a deal with them. He took his money. After Ojan Sikeri, so they call fight you. So what he's doing, he's playing with you on some way, Jimmy, and the same thing. They have played this game when your friend Kwabena Agyapong unim politics, ma me politics dialogue. I'm showing you me any basic mwatias here. The oya the friend of Kwabena Agyapong. Obetima mo adwe no agye kube fi nsem. So you need to check words or use adjectives or use. Onjimi yo or a cunning guy or a criminal. He knows what he's doing. It's more oba mumbusan, and what hurts me is these people are sitting there. These journalists are almost the so-called dumbheads of the two year myself. No, they have seen the stories when before election 2020. They read all these stories on TV. They covered some of it. They knew before 2020 said these things were crimes. Ekufuado committee, but they sat there and made it sound to say this guy is revealing something new. Nothing new. He is a cunning guy. I'm trying to throw. Engineers say this guy is a cunning guy. He's a liar. And Ghana for me suddenly, Ekufuado na in 2019-20 no obejina ka so onene onyame ba no na yemfo yakoma nyina hye no wadane ho because Ekufuado ye kromfo enti montoma me. This is so basic. We and also me person motinas na moye analysis. Or ye mo fa kube be gye adwe. Udi kube kwa ko shedi nse obema mo adwe. Eni bi kufu ade adama mo no. Bring coconut can take adwe. Fa kube be gye adwe politics no ye no. Fa kube be gye adwe politics. Or a very cunning guy. Or a dangerous guy. Udi na kubusa foko. This guy orchestrated a focus exit from the MPP. It is this guy. Oh my pambo munyina time no MPP headquarters. It is only him because a planned thing. He knows how to lie. He knows how to position himself. And these are the kind of politics we have to be very careful about. And then the change here. Ekufuadu in the second term, grab the president. Busa unhosa. A dangerous when you're from political scorpions. Or kawa no asaba say, hey, na dia kosi there or a dangerous MPP for crying him.